Hello everyone, I'm Jack Fisher and welcome to my world. And today, I'd like to reach back into that world and retrieve another comic book gem. My love of comics is both vast and diverse. From superhero comics, slice of life comics, creator-owned comics, spin-off comics, to just random stuff you'd find in a quarter bin, I'll embrace any comic, so long as it's awesome. This particular gem highlights a particular kind of comic, namely one that attempts to redefine an established character. It's bold in principle, but challenging in practice. It feels like every year, someone tries to redefine a handful of characters. Most fail miserably, often getting retconned or forgotten in just a few years' time. But that makes the comics that succeed a rare and beautiful achievement. Among those successes is The Life of Captain Marvel by writer Margaret Stohl. It's not just a personal favorite of mine. This miniseries from 2018 was a defining moment in the life of Carol Danvers. Her star was already rising at the time. She already had a movie coming out. To redefine her at this point was a real gamble, but Stohl took that gamble and it paid off beautifully. To appreciate why this comic is such a gem, it's important to understand where Carol was at this point. Just a few years earlier, Carol had graduated from Miss Marvel to Captain Marvel under writer Kelly Sue DeConnick. This transition was primarily what informed her current status even before her movie came out. It took her from being the secondary supporting character on the Avengers to one of the heaviest hitters in all of Marvel. That itself was a big transition for Carol, and one I'd still recommend following. But The Life of Captain Marvel did something important with that transition. It took a step back from the epic space battles and returned her to her very human roots. In this book, she reconnects with her mother, her brother, and her quaint hometown in Harpswell, Maine. But she doesn't return home just to catch up with friends and family. Carol returns to Harpswell because she's not in a good place when this series begins. Becoming Captain Marvel, being this iconic hero that so many look up to, has allowed her to put off all these unresolved issues that she's had going on. And some of those issues were even there before she became Miss Marvel. This series reminds us that Carol is still a recovering alcoholic. She also has serious issues with her father, issues that she never got closure on after he died. It got so bad that just being an Avenger, punching and blasting enemies at every turn, it just wasn't enough anymore. Going home is her way of confronting it. But doing so, she uncovers some long-kept secrets that she was never meant to know. How she feels about her identity, her family, and her place in the world, it's all shaken to the core in this story. On top of that, these revelations attract some unwanted attention from the Kree. It leads to a major confrontation, but for once, it's not a fight Carol can win just by punching and blasting everything. I won't spoil the details, I'll just say that The Life of Captain Marvel has a lasting impact on Carol Danvers. It reframes her entire life on so many levels, but not to the point that it undermines her history. That's often the biggest problem with reinventing a character. It either nullifies parts of their history or renders certain aspects of their journey less meaningful. You can only reinvent so many things about a character before they cease being that character. Certain aspects of Carol's life are very different after this book. Her past, present, and future suddenly have a new context. She's still Carol Danvers, don't think she's not, but now she has a lot more uncomfortable truths to process. She's still a hero, but being the hero she strives to be just gained a new complication. More than anything, The Life of Captain Marvel gives new depth to her journey. That's what a reinvention is supposed to do. Carol has undergone more reinvention than almost any other character in the past several years. This series perfectly embodies a critical part of that process, bringing out her greatest strengths and her deepest flaws. For fans of all things Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, and Captain Marvel, The Life of Captain Marvel is a must-have. It's a gem that achieves something beyond just being a compelling story. Even for a character who strives to fly higher, further, faster, it takes her to a whole new level. That's what makes it a true marvel among comics. But don't just take my word for it. Check out the Comixology link in the description. Experience it for yourself. Thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks for joining me in my world. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more of Jack's Comic Gems.